Mbappe Messi, the World Cup in Qatar is spelled with M. The two PSG players are vying for the throne in Doha and could only meet in a hypothetical final. Nasser Al-Khelaifi has achieved one of his goals at the World Cup in Qatar, which is being held in his country. "I'm going with my national team and then with my players. I hope they will be the best," he told Marca. Then in L'Equipe days later, the PSG president took the same line before discussing the future of both Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe. "This year is the World Cup. After that, we'll talk," he added. The fact is that every time Messi appears, Mbappe responds afterwards. If Leo was the best player in his match against Australia to get Argentina through to the quarterfinals, scoring another goal that takes him to 9 in the World Cups and 3 in Qatar, then Kylian appeared to score another brace, the second after the one against Denmark. He has now scored 5 in Qatar, which puts him at the top of the Golden Boot chart. Both are undisputed leaders for their respective national teams with the number 10 shirt on their backs, and both could only meet in a hypothetical final. Mbappe is determined to make his assault on the World Cup throne right now despite Messi's resistance. His numbers, it is true, are frightening because the World Cup looks like his competition. Only Peel was younger than him in reaching 7 goals after the 1958 and 1962 World Cups, but Kylian, without having turned 24, has already scored 9, surpassing Diego Maradona and Cristiano Ronaldo. He was a world champion at the age of 19. He was the second youngest player to win the World Cup and to score in a World Cup final after the former Brazil number 10, his great idol. In less than 2 World Cups, he already rubs shoulders with players like Messi and Cristiano, who have needed 5 World Cups to reach the same goal-scoring stats. "This World Cup is my obsession. It's my dream competition. I've built my whole season around this competition," Mbappe declared in his post-match press conference on Sunday. "I've prepared myself to the maximum both physically and mentally to win it, which is the goal I've set myself, although it's still a long way off. The only goal is to win the World Cup. The rest is secondary." Messi and his unfinished business. If France are entrusting themselves to Mbappe, even more so Argentina are entrusting themselves to Messi. The Albiceleste know that everything depends on the PSG striker to dream of a World Cup that they have not lifted since Maradona did it in Mexico '86. With the former Barcelona star at the helm of the national team, they returned to play in the final at Maracana in 2014, but lost to Germany. Now, despite the unexpected defeat to Saudi Arabia, a whole country believes again that the dream is possible thanks to Leo. Messi is experiencing a very special World Cup, probably because it is his last. "For me, the experience makes me see it in a different way, and I really enjoy everything we are going through and enjoying it with the people. I hope it lasts and that we can keep going forward. Now comes the Netherlands, who will be a very tough opponent," Messi explained. Uncertain domestic futures for both. What no one doubts is that the takeover of the world football throne is happening. Both face an uncertain future at PSG, and the World Cup could have a big influence on the decision they make. In Leo's case, he has 1 more year on his contract which he himself can execute if he wants, and which PSG expect to happen. Both parties agreed that this matter would be dealt with after the World Cup. In Mbappe's case, that same clause as the Argentines is in his contract, but for 2024. After 2 years at the club, he must decide whether to leave on a free or continue for another year and honor the biggest contract in history for an athlete. However, before June 2024, both parties must decide whether to stay together. Mbappe has not yet wanted to speak in Qatar in the mixed zone despite being the big star of France in the World Cup, aware that after it was revealed just 2 months ago that he could leave the club this June, he would have to address this issue and does not want anything to distract him from his goal and that of an entire country. After winning his 3rd Player of the Match award, and after a FIFA fine for his federation, he had no choice but to give a press conference in which he explained the reasons for his silence. After the World Cup, his future is an issue that will have to be addressed by both parties, because if he wants to leave at the end of this season, it would need to be a sale with PSG's blessing. In the meantime, it remains to enjoy the two of them at this World Cup, and until June, at least, in Paris, anything can happen.